Good day, everyone. My name is Deanne Graham with WeServe Community Initiative Coordinator, and I'd like to welcome you to WeServe's Care Program, partner with AMP Speaks and Will and Way Community Enrichment Corporation. Our founder, Mr. Eugene McCowan Jr., and our WeServe team want to thank each of you for joining us today. Just a reminder, WeServe Cares Program provides support through developmental workshops that can help boost confidence, increase competence, and expand connections. And our focus areas are financial literacy, readiness development, and employment readiness. Now, we are pleased to welcome back our partner for today's session with Level Up under the Employment Readiness module, presented by our very own Mr. Andre Powell of AMP Speaks. Andre, I'm passing the baton to you. Looking forward to hearing what you have to share today.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that you're doing well. I hope you're feeling amazing. We have a great session ready for you, and we're ready to get going. I am going to try and share this with you all. All right, let's see. Boom, boom, making sure everybody can see it. All right, it looks like we are in business. Okay, so our focus for today is leveling up, right? Our mindset. This is one of those things that for all of us, it is important how your mind moves as you're going forward in what you're doing. And to be successful in our jobs, our mindset has to be in such a way that it makes sense to what we're trying to accomplish. And so this is our focus, leveling up the growth mindset and the grit in the workplace. Now, we're turning these failures into fuel as part of the AMP Life principle. Now, if you've been following us on our social medias, that guy amped, we went over what the AMP Life principle was all about. And so for this, we're going to tie this principle and this thought process together, and hopefully we'll leave you with some tools and some tricks to really do above and beyond at the workplace, whether you're working now or whether you're seeking the job. You can be focused on these decisions and this mindset already and apply it to what you're doing. All right, so first, let's start off. I like to start off everything with a small icebreaker. It's like, how many of you have ever failed at something important? Now, for many of us, you might be thinking, failing at something important. We've all had something that was important in a moment. And for some of us, it might have been we had a test that we have been preparing for a very long time, and maybe it didn't go so well. Or there was a certification test that we were taking and excited about, but it didn't go so well. And we ended up having to take it again. And maybe you ended up taking it two or three times before you were able to pass it. But the goal here was failure is feedback and not final. So for myself, one of the things that I prided myself on for a very long time is every interview that I've ever had. If I had the interview, I ended up with a job. Until there's this one time where I was certain I was going to be designing in New York, designing apparel. And I went to this interview ready to go because up to this point, I had never failed at an interview. And so I was truly excited on being able to do it. And then I realized after going there that that job wasn't for me, that this wasn't the company that I should have been working with at the time. And so while I did my level best, I failed miserably in it. And so that didn't stop me from wanting to be a designer. That didn't stop me from continuing to pursue the art of apparel design and graphic design. That didn't stop me there. I knew the feedback that was given to me in that interview and after the interview said, hey, there might be some things you want to tweak when talking to people for professional interviews. Because let's be honest, for some interviews that we go into, we are a shoe-in candidate. They already want us. They just want to have an in-person conversation. This was not the case in this situation. So that ability that sometimes understand that if we fail, that's not it. Failure is truly just feedback of how you can level up or do better the next time. And so let's apply that to our work. All right, let's move into it. So some of the challenges that you'll find on the workplace, in the workplace, is fear of failure. Fear of failure is one of those things that shows up all the time because sometimes when we fail, we can count ourselves out. And so that fear of failing at it will often show up within that first 90 days, right? There's a lot of pressure to perform in that first 30, 60, 90 days on a job because after you hit that 90 days marker, you're more likely to stay at that job and the team is saying that everything is working out at that point. But what happens if you fail and you don't make it to that 90 days? Are you just going to give it up? And so sometimes that's what the fear of failure does. It puts you in a mindset where you are so rigid and not really at times enjoying yourself because you're so focused about doing everything right. And so it holds you back from where you could potentially go, what you could potentially be sharing. And so our goal in this is to thwart some of these challenges that you might find in the workplace. Fixed beliefs limit growth and innovation. If you figure that your way is the only way to get things accomplished, you will limit the opportunity to move forward, to change things. If you know that, hey, I went to the creme de la creme schools and this is the only way that things will work, sometimes that will many times, let me change that. Many times that will limit your growth and the opportunity to grow into other things and innovate things and change things because you only see, oh well, I know for sure that this way works. And if you are a creative, we know how trends and things are changing. If you're working in AI, things are always changing. So if you limit yourself to, oh well, this is the only stream that ever works, then you will find yourself at a loss. Organizations need resilience and adaptivity in their teams. Every team has to have some flexibility. And if you are limiting your growth because of your fixed beliefs, if you're worried about the fear of failure, you won't do as much as you might do on a team. And so we need some resilience and adaptivity. You got to be able to change and go with what's going on as well. As we keep going, we're going to talk about this focused mindset, this growth versus fixed mindset. Now, fixed sounds just the way it is. I would say, if you are fixed on something, you are determined to make sure that that happens, right? You are looking at it in such a way where this is the only possibility. And so that fixed mindset is abilities are static. Failure is equal to final, right? Our abilities don't change. The abilities that we have, we will always have that ability, and that ability will only work like this. If you are looking at your abilities and the potential of the gifts and the talents to only work in one stream, then you are selling yourself short. And that's not fair to you. That's also not fair to the abilities that you have that can be used and expanded to so many different things. And so when we fix our mind in one way, it limits us to just that one way and not the possibility of other opportunities. That's that fixed mindset. Another example is that fixed mindset is being at a job and you see a product is made one way, right? There is a process to get that product and it's made that one way. The fixed mindset would say, hey, this is the only way that this product can be made. Now, if you are at any company, making your product better is always a plus. But a fixed mindset says, we will only make this product this way. There's no need for improvement. This is the only way that we are going to make this product. All right. And so if we have that fixed mindset, we will only see everything as one way. The beautiful thing is you have the other opportunity, the growth mindset. In the growth mindset, it says abilities developed through effort, learning, and feedback. If you are a writer and you think that your writing is the best thing since sliced bread, and that's how you approach everything, you're probably not going to fall into that growth mindset. But most writers that I know, they have editors for a reason. They have other friends that are writers for a reason because their mindset is, hey, I want to put my best foot forward. So, how can I do that? The abilities that I've learned have an opportunity to grow. The effort that I'm putting into it, the time, the space, the opportunity to learn that I'm putting into this will give me my best product. And then feedback, hearing from other writers, hearing from editors gives them the opportunity to grow in what they're doing. And so That mindset, the growth mindset says, hey, I don't always have all the answers, but I know in what I'm doing, this should work. But if it doesn't, how can I pivot? How can I adjust? What needs to be changed in order for there to be success in it? And so that comes through developing the skill, developing the mindset, moving forward in what you've been made to do. And that comes with some effort. Oh, I'm gonna just learn from all these other people and not do anything. Without the effort, that growth mindset isn't really happening. Without feedback, that growth mindset isn't really happening. Without learning something, the desire to learn, the ability to learn, the yeah, I think I said desire to learn. That is vitally important to our growth as people on our jobs and off of our jobs. If we are willing to learn, we are always going to continue growing. And so that's part of that growth mindset. And so sometimes we can be so rigid that we put ourselves into that fixed mindset. Well, if we fail, that's it. We're gonna move on to something else. And sometimes we give that cop out that, oh well, if God allows me to fail in this, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna just walk away. Or if I fail in this moment, I'm just gonna walk away. Nope, that's not the intent. Failure was never meant to be final. And so it's all in how you look at it. All right. So what is grit? Grit is when your passion, that fire, that why, all those things that you're doing, the reason, but about how and why meets perseverance, that keep on going. It might be tough, but I'm gonna keep moving. It might be hard, but I'm gonna keep on moving. That perseverance, that's what perseverance is. You keep moving towards where you're trying to go. Even if it's difficult, even if you've heard no's, even if you failed a couple times, you keep moving. Perseverance keeps going, keeps going. And it comes with a cost. There has to be some effort in it. And that's where part of your passion and your why, when you understand your passion, when you understand your why, you are willing to put work in. You're willing to put effort in. You're willing to learn those things that you may not know or find people that know those things to get the helps so you can get towards those long-term goals. All right, you're staying committed when things get tough. Like I said, you're not giving up just because you failed at it one time. If you truly see it as an opportunity to change things, to innovate things, to really improve what you're doing, you're going to stay committed to it. You're not just going to give up because you failed a little bit. You're going to find some ways to move forward in it. And so, our goal with this is we have the opportunity to stay focused, to stay committed, even when things are tough, even when they're rough. Consistency beats intensity when intensity isn't consistent. I like this quote solely because it reminds us that hey, you can be intense in trying to get something accomplished. But then if you let the wind fall out of your sails because you failed, it will ultimately fall because let's be honest, if you're not putting that time in, if you only show up once in a while to really work hard at something, it's not going to pan out like you want it to. But when you are consistent in the intensity in which you're bringing, if you're bringing fire every time you step up to take care of something, every time you step up to knock something out of the ballpark, it will pay off dividends. So, and even if your intensity is smaller, right? Your consistency in it will always take you ahead of somebody who's not really putting that time in, who's not really putting that work in. So, be consistent no matter what, be consistent. All right. So, how does this tie into the AMP life principle? And so, the D in AMPed is for dedication. Show up daily, even when it's hard. Dedication means, hey, we're going to see this through to the end. It might get tough. We might want to give up at times, but we are going to keep going regularly. There was an artist that said, hey, every day I do 1% more every single day. And every single day, because I do 1% more, when I look back 5 years later, I will be further along than other people that show up, for a year and they're done for a go and then they sit on their laurels. Because I choose to show up a little bit more every day, I am growing more every day. I am learning more every day, and I'm potentially going in the direction where I want to more quickly because I'm consistent and I'm dedicated to showing up regularly. All right. Motivation, that why. Like, why are you doing this? Who are you doing this for? What is the heart behind this? This will fuel the motivation in it to move forward, to keep pressing on. That why gives us that reason to keep on going. And we're not going to let it get in our way. We're not going to let it stop. Reframing failure from setbacks to stepping stones. If you see failure as a temporary opportunity, feedback, you will move from it being a, oh man, we just failed. But you were looking at, oh, we failed in the right direction. We're, as we're going to see later, we're failing forward. You might say, failing forward. How do you fail forward? It's all in the mindset. It starts with the mind. If you are failing and you're giving up after the fail, it will always be a setback. But if you're failing with the intent on, hey, what can I learn out of this failure? What am I bringing to the table through this failure that I might not have been thinking about before? And sometimes that's when companies come to the lessons learned opportunity. It's like, hey, yeah, we might have succeeded at this, but where did we fail? Where did we mess up? How could we have gotten to that success more quickly? Or what is it? Have we not fully made it to the success that we're looking for? How can we learn from this? Failure is temporary and an opportunity for you to learn something. So if you approach failure like that, that fear of failure also steps away now because you're looking at fear, you're looking at failure differently. But that all has to start up in the mind. And these two, dedication, the willingness to show up, and the reason why you are doing it in the first place will change how you look at failure. All right, let's keep going. So let me ask you this. Based off of the two comments I'm gonna read to you, which mindset do these statements reflect? All right, the first one is I can learn from my mistakes and improve. What do y'all think that one? How do you think that one falls? Okay. All right. So if you said that one was a growth mindset, kudos. You got that. You got that one right. That one's a growth mindset because even in my mistakes, I can learn and I can improve. It shows the potential for growth. And so, for all of us, having that mindset, that reflection, allows us to move forward. Now, the second one. Now, you all might be saying, oh, this one is definitely obvious because we know the other one was the growth one. When I fail, I'm just not at, I'm just not good at it. All right. So for many of us, yes, you're right. It's a fixed mindset because it stops with fail. It's like when I fail, I'm just not good at it. That's it. That's final. No hope for learning from it. Now, there might have been another sentence that could have been associated to this one to change it, right, into that growth mindset. But if we just stop here at when I fail, or when I fall or when I make a mistake, I'm just not good at it. If that's where you leave it and you walk away from it, you will not grow. You will not succeed at what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. It won't happen. So, our goal in this is to make sure that our mindset is focused on growing, whether it be in your career, whether it be in college. Your desire is to grow, whether it be in your business. If you're starting a business, your desire is to grow that one, it can be classified truly as a business and not a hobby. You want it to be growing. And so we are not going to approach anything that in our lives anymore with that fixed mindset of this is the only way. And it limits us to when we fail, we're just not good enough at it. So we're not good at it. Boom, done. Now, even if you had thrown good enough in it, that leaves the opportunity for potentially growth, right? If we said, oh, I'm not good enough at it, hmm, That gives you the, hey, well, there's more that I could be doing. You see how easily we can sometimes change our thinking by adding a word or two or even another sentence to change that mindset. All right. And so let us do this more often. Let us be approaching every statement that we make, because when we make it with our mouths and we hear it, we are telling our minds that, one, we're not good and we're finished. Or you could say, I'm not good enough, but I can get better. When you hear yourself say that, you are telling your mind there is more for us to get done. All right, let's move on. Let's keep going. So, some of our key insights for all of this: self awareness is the first step. At this point, I'm gonna need y'all to be talking to yourselves like, hey, where do I find myself most often? Am I in that fixed mindset that, oh, if I don't land this job, then that's it? That I'm not good enough to have. I'm not good enough to work this dream job. Is that where you find yourself, or are you in that growth mindset, but there's something else that might be missing? Right? You're in that, hey, I need to learn something, but I don't know where to start, or I haven't surrounded myself with the mentors that are needed to move forward in this. So self-awareness is the first step. Understanding, hey, where do I fall in this? Do I know why I'm doing this? Am I just doing it because, oh, hey, society has said the most money is in this? Is that my focus? Right? Or am I doing it because, hey, what benefits my family the most? Or am I living the dream that I made for, right? Am I truly synced up with living an amp life? Or am I, mediocrity is fine with me? Like, because let's be honest, if you're okay with settling for mediocrity, then, and that's your self awareness, then living an amp life probably isn't for you. But if your desire is to live content and growing all the time, changing, evolving, if you will, then definitely living the amp life will be found easier for you, because you know that there's a reason to your why. There's some motivation behind it, and you're going to keep showing up, right? You're going to be motivated and you're going to be dedicated. But you have to figure out where you currently stand and figure out, do I move forward? Do I move back? Do I stay where I am? You you have to figure out first where your mindset is. And if your desire is to change from that fixed mindset to that growth mindset, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Your mindset set shapes your performance. How you perform, how you show up, all starts with what's in your mind. If you don't understand your purpose, if you don't understand your why, if you don't have the desire to keep moving forward, if you don't have that unction that, hey, I need to get this accomplished in your mind, then you will always wait for other people to do it. You won't show up at work, and your bosses will understand and see that. If your mindset is fixed on, meh, I can do the bare minimum and get by, and it'll be okay, that'll be fine, you will quickly find yourself out of a job. And that's from experience. From experience, you will find yourself as silently quitting, and that doesn't help you any, because once you silently quit, that means you're cutting off potential growth opportunities. So let's start with our mindset. We're starting with our mindset, and as we change our mindset, watch, I guarantee your performance and things change. Change your thinking changes your outcome. Simply said, if you change your thinking, change the way you're approaching things, it will change the outcome at the end. If you are okay with mediocrity, you will stay in the same position. If you want to grow, if your desire is to grow, if you're living an amp life, you're going to keep going. And in some cases, it may go very exponential. And other cases, it might just be a steady growth that you are growing. And so our desire in this is that we all continue to grow in the purpose in which we were made for. For those that don't have jobs, our goal is to find jobs, to find that avenue that keeps us moving forward, that keeps us growing. If we're working but not happy, hey, let's evaluate what's going on in our work. Have we silently quit already and the fun and the excitement has gone out of the job? Or are we growing in our knowledge here to move forward, to advance? Are we showing the promise of knocking out things that are above what we're doing right now, that we're moving forward into something else? And I realize, even if you're working right now, that your heart may not be to stay in this job because there might not be growth opportunities where you are. But to continue moving forward means that you are keeping your ear to the work as well as to what the industry is doing. There might be an opportunity with one of your competitors that you will have the opportunity to go to and work through. So that opportunity to continue to grow, the way you're thinking will change your outcome. All right. So let's fail forward. Do me a favor, take a second and write down a failure that taught you something. I'm gonna give y'all roughly about 30 seconds to write down a way or something that taught you something. You failed at something and it taught you something. It didn't go so well, but it taught you something. And I'm going to share mine in about 10 to 15 while you all are still writing. Take your 30 seconds. For me, I was failing in a job as an IT help desk lead. I didn't realize that I was failing, but I was starting to get numbers that weren't so favorable to the team, and I couldn't figure out why. One of the things that, as I, for myself, prayed and looked at some of the things that I was doing, I was doing the bare minimum because I no longer wanted to be there. I wasn't happy in it, didn't see the growth even. I'm the help desk lead, but I didn't see the growth in it. And so one of the challenges that I found myself with going every day is like, oh, hey, yep, do the bare minimum, make sure that you're getting the bare minimum in numbers. And it came to roost when we got some numbers that were so low at one point where my managers ended up having to change the numbers based off of the numbers that I was calculating. And even though I wasn't the person that was kind of the cause of the numbers being low, I was the one that was looking over the person. And so I was just as responsible for the numbers by not following up, by not putting in that extra effort to grow and help share and show others and asking the questions that needed to be asked. And so for me, it required me changing my mindset. Stop trying to please others and do your level best for God. That was what I needed, right? For me, if I'm doing everything to the glory and honor of God. So if I'm giving my level best and I'm failing at it, that's one thing. But if I'm doing eh, bare minimum and I'm failing at it, that's on me. And so the approach, once I took that different approach, I changed my mindset. And when I tell you, not only did the numbers go up, the opportunities, the doors opened. Like, hey, we want you to do this. Hey, we want you to speak to this person. We want you to sit in these meetings. And here's the information. It's like, whoa, 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 pump the brakes. Where was all this stuff when I was doing the work before? So, because I changed my mindset and how I was approaching things, I was no longer failing at things that I could easily have done. I was no longer getting low marks on things, but now I had opportunities that were now available to me to truly boost up my career and things that I was doing and accomplishing. All right, let's keep going. Here's our fail forward lesson. Failure equals feedback. It's temporary. I know you've heard me say this a number of times, but my goal in this is for you to remember that failure is solely feedback. There's no need to fear failure. Failure is okay to happen as long as you don't stay there with the failure. If you don't give up when you fail, there is an opportunity to grow. See failure as something that is temporary and it's feedback. Temporary because you don't have to stay there. Temporary because you can move past it. Temporary because there is growth opportunity there. Feedback because you can always learn something for failure, but from failure, but it depends on you and your desire to learn from it, right? Because if you fail and you're like, oh, well, I failed, we can learn something from it, and you don't put the effort in figuring out what that it was, then you are selling yourself short, and you might be stuck in that failure and not realize it. But if you put forth the effort, if you put forth the time, if you put forth the opportunity of, hey, getting some feedback from others as well, that failure will be temporal only. And you'll actually look forward to those failures. Because when we fail, we always have the opportunity to learn something. When we succeed, it's like, okay, well, hey, everything that we did lined up according to what it was supposed to, and it worked. Boom, we're done. You're not really going back to look at what you did if you succeed. But when you fail, there's an opportunity to say, hey, well, we failed at it. There's something that could be changed to make it better, or there's something we might need, or there's something in it that is missing. Leaders embrace mistakes as part of growth. A true leader allows those mistakes to be a part of growth. Now, there are other leaders that will crucify you for your mistakes, but I hope that you find yourself, if you're a leader, as you embrace those mistakes. And for the real good leaders, embracing those mistakes can make all the difference amongst your team and the morale. How are we moving past the mistakes? All right. Every no gets you closer to a yes. This is one of my favorite quotes, and I had to make sure it was here because even though there might be a lot of rejection in what you're doing, it's only getting you closer to that yes you're looking for, to that opportunity, to that door. So take the no with a grain of salt. How can I improve? How can I better? And even if somebody says no, no might even be, hey, no, right, not right now, versus a no, not ever. What I would challenge you to do, if you get a no and it's a very distinct no, get some feedback. Challenge them to give you some feedback. And it helps you, on the other hand, build relationship as well. Like, hey, I thought that this would work. Like I have a graphic design oriented manager. For me, anytime I'm putting something together that is going out to clients and things, I'll send it over to him and say, hey, take a look at this. Tell me what you think. And sometimes he's like, nah, that's not gonna work. That and I say, okay, so I need some feedback. If you say no, that's not gonna work, why isn't it going to work? There was a document that I put together from for my creative director roles, right? And for me, it's all great content. The graphics, the videos look amazing and will blow anybody's socks off. But if you had so much on the page that it filled up the page to the point where people are like, wait, what actually is going on here? There's so many words. Where do we look at things? And so just kind of reformatting and reorganizing it made it flow better, made it look easier on the eyes. And so got kudos to that. Hey, this is definitely a good product. Use it when moving forward. But it required me getting that no to know that, hey, something about this needed to change. And so sometimes for us, we need to hear that no to understand that, hey, there's something else that we might need to update. There's something that we might need to look at. There might even be, hey, how you approach even from the beginning, from that first impression, could have made all the difference. But that no means there's an opportunity to grow. And you're also getting closer to that yes. All right. All right, let's move to the next one. Here's a coaching moment. Here's your grit in action. So I wanted to have you all jump into some different groups and we'll do a small group reflection on this. But I want you to think of a time where you wanted to give up. What helped you keep going? Like there have been times where you wanted to give up, but you're still pressing forward in what you're doing, right? What was that? Hey, I need to keep going in this. I'm gonna give about 10 seconds or so, or 30 seconds actually, to see what you all come up with, what you're bringing to the table, because I'm curious as to what you all are getting out of this. And so quickly, one of the things that I wanted to share with you all as well, while you're in this moment, while you're thinking this through, one of the times that I wanted to give up was in starting Amped Up Studios. Amped Up Studios is a production studio that I started with my brothers. And at times it could just be really hard to see a light at the end of the tunnel after so many rejections. One of the biggest things that I found myself doing is like, well, hey, there are reasons that you are doing this, right? There are whys behind why Amped Up Studios is so important to life and succeeding from the stance of allowing people to grow in their vision of what luxury looks like, making luxury attainable for Black and brown folk, people, right? For making it such that the team as a whole is growing exponentially and we are covering more locations and things of that nature. And we're all able to walk away from normal 9 to 5s and do the things that we love all day. For me, those whys made all the difference in why I keep moving, we keep looking for new clients, why we keep pitching different hotels and pitching different tourism boards and so forth. The whys behind it are the reason that helped me keep going and still to this day keep going to make Amped Up Studios that premier production studio around the world. And for some of you, that's the same thing. Your why is the reason that you keep on moving. The key to this lesson, the key to this process is grit is sustained by your purpose and your support. The more support you have, you understanding your why, that support coming in, it helps you continue to thrive. If it wasn't for my brothers, I probably would have given up on Amateur Studios a long time ago. But seeing the giftings and to see the drive, to see them light up when we're working and we're capturing things is so worth it. It's so worth it. And anytime I say, hey, can we do this? They're like, sure. When will we do it? To see the desire to get things accomplished as well, that support is huge. We know what our purpose is. And putting those together allows us to stay gritty in what we're doing. All right, let's keep on going. All right, so AMP Life, here are some of the power principles that we're going to throw into you all today. Now, we've talked about two of them already. You've already seen motivation and dedication. We talked about them earlier, and we're going to hit at it again. So, attitude. The A in AMP, the AMP Life principle is attitude. This is going to fuel your altitude, where you're going, how you approach everything is going to make the difference. My great uncle used to say all the time, your attitude will determine your altitude, how far you're going, how far you're approaching, how you bring yourself. When you come to something, how you bring yourself, how you show up, people are going to see your attitude first and how you approach things. And so your attitude is going to determine where you go from here. Motivation. You're going to keep moving. We're going to keep pressing forward because we're motivated. We understand the why. We understand the purpose. And so that motivation is going to keep you going forward. Perseverance, resilience. In spite of the challenges, I'm going to keep moving. In spite of what it looks like, I'm going to keep holding on. In spite of how difficult it might be at times, I'm going to keep on pressing because there are other people counting on me. There's other people looking at me to be the example. And then dedication. Daily, I'm going to show up. My daily habits, things I put and built into my life, will build the success. It's the building blocks. Dedication will continue to move forward. I'm determined to get to this end. I'm determined to reach this goal. I'm determined to keep on going. And so, what we put into our daily habits, whether it's some of us need some reminded affirmations, some of us need to be reminded daily that These are the goals that we're pressing forward to. And if it doesn't align with us going towards those goals, then it's not as important for us to get accomplished today, right? If it doesn't help us leverage and use the opportunity that we have in this day, then it's probably not helping us get to where we need to go. And so, however we approach it, it is truly up to us. We have to be dedicated in how we move forward in it. All right. So, here's the level framework, right? The growth mindset plus grit plus the AMP life principle, we've been dealing with it this entire time, equals resilient leadership. If you aren't leading a team right now, there's going to be opportunity to lead, to step up. You might not own a business, your own business right now, but on a job working for someone else, you have an opportunity to lead. You may be a college student looking forward to just graduating, but even on the college campus, there's going to be opportunities to lead. What will you do with it? And so being a resilient leader requires you being growth mindset, like growth oriented. It requires that you have some passion, you have some purpose, you have some support. Living the AMP life principle means that you are walking out, checking your attitude often. You're walking in motivation. You're walking in passion and perseverance. You're walking in empathy and dedication. You're doing all of these things regularly. You're checking how you're moving and how you're approaching things. And then it will allow you to be a leader that stands on business, stands 10 toes down, getting things accomplished, even when it's difficult, even when other people have counted you out, you will keep moving forward through the failures, through the challenges, through the puzzles, trying things that maybe you didn't know that were needed, even in that moment. This level up framework allows you to look for the stars and reach them more clearly. It allows you to pull others with you. Let them see the vision and the purpose and move forward into it. Leveling up your mindset, leveling up in growth, leveling up in all of these pieces allows you to do some things that you may not have initially thought were possible. This will change your entire approach and how you do things if you level up in this framework, in this mindset. If you add all these things together, you will be a resilient leader that, in spite of the difficulties, they keep moving. They keep moving forward. And people might not understand why your project succeeded, even though there might have been 20 plus failures in it. They wonder why you succeeded at innovating something that people are like, man, there's no point in that. But you were able to keep moving forward in it. So here's our call to action for this session. As you are moving forward, as you are becoming a resilient leader, as you are growing and changing your mindset from that fixed mindset to the growth mindset, as you are learning what your grit is, what your why is, how you're standing, as you're motivating yourself and dedicating to the goals that you have in front of you. Next time you're faced with a setback, ask yourself these two things. What can I learn? And how can this fuel me forward? What can I learn from this? What can I take away from this? This might not, it might even be a job that you're currently in that you're seeing as, man, it's holding me back from getting to where I want to. Well, what can I learn from it? What have I learned from it? What am I taking away from this daily? And how can I use this to get me into position to where I need to go? How can this fuel me forward? Am I just going to be like, I'm settling, I'm tired, I'm done with it, or am I going to keep moving forward in this? And so our goal with this is, hey, where's the fuel coming from? Add this to the why. I know that there's something better after this. So how can I leverage this opportunity that I find myself in? Right? Do me a favor and write down one challenge and some action steps for this week. Your challenge might be, hey, I need to look into a certification for my job. I've been putting it off long enough. They said I got to have this in the next 6 months. Hey, write that challenge down. What's keeping you from that? And then write some actionable steps. Give yourself some dates as to when you want to accomplish them. Put them on your calendar as reminders. If you set yourself up for success, when it comes, you won't be surprised because you've done it. And so if you take this to heart, if you take this challenge, these calls to action to move forward, I promise you, the next time we have a session, you will look at these things differently. You will be approaching things differently. And if you do this often, if you do this every week, give yourself one challenge and write it down. Then give yourself actionable steps of how you can move forward to alleviating that challenge. Do that. Do it weekly and see that you let that be your 1% weekly. That you've written down one challenge and you've written down steps that over the course of the week, I'm going to accomplish this and defeat this challenge. And I promise you, you will be that much further in the dream and the goal and the vision that you have for yourself than you have ever thought was possible because you have taken the time to start doing things. They there's that one quote. How do you eat a 500-pound elephant? One bite at a time. Any goal that's worth anything is going to take time to accomplish it. But if you continue to take that one bite, if you continue to take down that one challenge, I promise you, you will accomplish some amazing things. And so that's your challenge for this week. From this opportunity, the growth mindset level up session, these are your two calls to action for this week, next week, and the rest of the until our next time with this. And I want to hear from you. Let us know as you accomplish some of these things. Drop us a note. Let us know how you've accomplished it, what it took for you to get there. And we want to hear the wins. We want to celebrate the wins with you. Like that's for me, always. Anytime I do a session, I want to celebrate wins with you. And so leveling up is not about avoiding failure. It's about facing it with courage, grit, and the AMP life mindset. How you approach everything that you're doing, the failures that you're going to have, the challenges that you're going to have, and how you approach all of it is going to make the difference in your life. So I challenge you to approach it well with the courage. I challenge you to approach it with the grit and the support and the passion, and apply the AMP Life principle. And I promise you don't have to take my word for it, but I promise you when you see it, I expect you to come back and say, "Yep, you was right." So I hope that you all enjoyed this session with me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you have gained a whole lot from this session, and I look forward to you all joining us next month for our next session. I don't have what it's going to be called, but I hope that you enjoyed this. If you've gotten something out of it, feel free to tell me. I'm that guy, Amp. Feel free to text me, email me. Email is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Drop something in my email. Let me know what you're thinking. Check out some of our series on all social media under That Guy Amped. And if you're looking for a college speaker on your college university, go to the ampspeaks.com and check us out. Check us out what we're talking about, all of the good things. We would love to do a session and work with your team to help people move forward. Truly appreciate your time. Join us next time, next month, as the We Serve Cares programs continue. There are sessions that are held, every second and third Saturday. This one, is the employee readiness, and I hope that you join us next time. Until then, know that I love you. God loves you. Be inspired, be edified, be encouraged. Put God first in all that you do. Love unconditionally, do what you love, and always live an amp life. Let's get amped.